High frequencies. Peace, everybody. I'm checking in to talk to you all about the dream, but also about the 2022 energy that we are getting into. We are at a point where we're easing into this 2022 energy. On February the 1st, we will be in the Lunar New Year, which is the water tiger, if according to the Chinese calendar. And so we're easing into this new year. We'll be officially in around about the springtime. But according to, if you're still living in this 3D reality, which we are, if you go to work, interact with people, live your life, it's 2022. However, for us spiritual beings, we know we are really in the 2022 energy in the spring. With that being said, you will see your life start to unfold. Not dramatically. I can say for myself that I'm seeing the work that has been done previously unfolding and unraveling itself. Let's take maybe your career, for example. Maybe something you've been longing to do or really wanting to do. Something that is your heart's passion. Something that you have cultivated over the years, or you like, hey, I wish it was a actual, title for what I do, or I wish that I had this position, or I wish that I could, actually work with, giving back, or as a mentor, or as a doula, or a healer, or a spiritualist, or as a professor, whatever the case may be. You'll see these opportunities presenting themselves for you. You will see that the door and the way is open for you to do your heart's passion, and it's starting to slowly unravel. And this is just the beginning. This is the foundation of you really co-creating with the universe what your destiny is. So you're seeing your destiny unfold. You're seeing your destiny come to fruition. All of these years of actually working and cultivating and putting things into this toolbox, you're going to see all of those things you put in the toolbox actually starting to unpack it and be utilized for others, where you are giving back, and you're also making a substantial living off of it, which is wonderful, right? We love that. Because we have to take care of ourselves and feed ourselves and have living and, vehicles and all that kind of stuff. And we don't want to just survive, but we want to thrive. Okay. So it's not just about surviving day to day. Okay. I ate today. Let me see if I can eat tomorrow. No, we want to thrive. And when I say thriving, it's not just making sure my needs are met on a day-to-day basis, but not only my needs and those around me, but I can give back to nonprofits, or I have time to give to help the youth, or I have time to give to, battered women in domestic violence. I have time to give to those who have been incarcerated, who are now trying to regain their lives in this free world. Whatever the case may be, whatever your calling is, you'll see that energy that you've been working on start to unravel and unfold itself in 2022, which is wonderful. You'll also see these gifts within you start to be utilized even more without you even really doing a whole lot of work on them, because you've already done the previous work, but you'll see them starting to come forth. So these are some of the things that I've been seeing. Along with that, but I've also, and I'm going to give you all some things that I have been doing which really helped me roll right into my power easily, is I've been I have been using these affirmations or mantras or whatever you would like to call them. And it started like a week ago because I started to feel the energy after the new moon that we had. I started to feel this energy of empowerment and really having the God divinity that's within me realized. Self-actualization, right? So I had this self-actualization that came out of me as if I stepped into the suit of knowing who I completely am as a divine being, as a spark of God here on this plane, and knowing that I am worthy and I am good enough, right? So if you're similar to me, I've had some issues that I've battled in childhood of not feeling good enough, where, whatever I did, it just wasn't good enough. If I made an A minus, I should have made an A plus. If I got a particular job, then I should be making more. There was always this pressure put on me from my parents to do more and you're not good enough. Even though that wasn't stated, that was the reflection of what was given when they said, oh, but you can do this and you need to do this, or you shouldn't be making a B, you should make an A plus and all this kind of things, or this is that and you're smarter than you should be doing this. So all of that pressure was put on me, which subconsciously in my mind was saying you're not good enough. So that has been like a reoccurring theme that I've seen itself play out in my life of not good enough. So one day, I'm laying in bed, I wake up, and before I'm fully awakened, when you're in that middle state of still half sleep but waking up, like I always talk to you all about, my spirit started to speak to me and say, you are good enough and you deserve the best of everything. You are good enough and you deserve the best of everything. And as I started to continue to say that, in a trance meditation state, you're good enough, you deserve the best of everything. I started to come into a self-actualization, and I started really walking in it and feeling it. Like, no matter what is going on around me, no matter what I feel like is not coming forth when I want it, I know it's coming. So I am in an energy of it's coming forth, and to release and let go of what we hear a lot of spiritualists or metaphysicians talk about, being in a state of allowing. And so being in that state of allowing, just knowing the divine nature that you are releasing those things that you want to manifest, walking in the divine energy that you are, knowing that just walking in that divine energy, that within itself is calling those things forth. And once I started doing that and really not just feeling it, but knowing it in my mind and repeating that I am good enough and I deserve the best of everything. And it's like that encompasses me, and it can encompass you to know that whatever you're looking for is coming. It's really here. So continually to program that self into your thought processes throughout the day, it gives you this confidence of knowing that you are way more than you thought you were. All right. You are the creator and you are creating, and it's coming to you. So I just wanted to kind of put that on your mind as a thought of things that has been coming to me during this Gregorian New Year of 2022, going into the Lunar Chinese New Year of the Water Tiger of 2022. But I am going to go into the dream state last night, and I've been having dreams of me being in familiar spaces. I've been in these spaces and locations before. It may be a timeline that I've been on before. Not quite sure, but the energetic feeling of where I've been placed when I go to sleep has been reoccurring. And so last night it was to the dream last night, and I had a part, which the first part that I'm not going to go over, but it woke me up and I was sweating. And I wake up like this sometimes out of the dream when I know I'm doing a lot of traveling. And also, if I feel like someone is pulling on my energy space, it could be someone who needs me and is pulling from my light spiritually. It could be someone who may be in some type of trouble, or it could be someone who just needs the light that I hold in order to help them in their physical form. And they may not be aware that they're doing this, but they are doing this, and I feel it. And I'll be going through different things. I'll have flashes in my mind of how we're interacting in the astral plane. And then, I wake up, I'm sweating, my bed is wet. I'm like, I have to go get a towel, lay it down to go back to sleep, which I had to do last night. Even though I didn't even have the heat on last night at all. And it was about 30 to 40 degrees outside. And I live in a very wooded area where there's a lot of trees. So it's actually cooler in my house than it is outside. So I'm just like, oh my God, how am I sweating? So then I go back to sleep. I'm not sweating anymore. I'm like, I'm actually starting to get really cold. And I go back into another dream state. And in this dream state, it was a child. And it felt like it was my baby. And it was a son. It was like a son that I had that was at an age where he couldn't really communicate, but he could, maybe about 2 or 3 years of age. Anyway, this child was kidnapped. Someone had taken this child, and I was telepathically communicating with my son, which felt like in the dream it was like my son, but it could have been a spirit connection, or what was coming to me is that it was a spiritual connection or a soul tribe child. And this child is telepathically communicating to me what is going on and what has happened. As we know, even in this physical realm, a lot of children are being abducted. A lot of children are being taken, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. Okay, so this child was telling me that it was some older people that had kidnapped him. And I was trying to get some information from him. So I was like, okay, so what is going on? What are they doing to you? And he was telling me that in his genital area, the way they talk and touch him was causing some swelling in his genital area. So I had like this checklist. I was like, okay, so they're trying to invoke an arousal. And so then I asked him, I was like, what else is going on with you? And so he was telling me that, they were touching him in different areas. And he was so young, he didn't know that this was right or wrong. The only thing that he was doing was telling me what was going on as I made him feel comfortable and safe. And I was letting him know he wanted to go home. His biggest thing is like he wanted to go home. He didn't want to be there anymore. And he didn't know why they wouldn't let him go. And so it was disturbing because a part of the dream I was able to see what they were doing to his genitalia area, which was not good. So I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I, and I was telling, it was like other people that was a part of my tribe that I was telling them, where he was. And we were like creating a way to try to retrieve the little boy, retrieve the child. So that's just a little bit of how I can try to explain it the best that I can. But I woke up and it was very, very disturbing. So the first thing that came to me was the fact. So the first thing that came to me after I woke up, and of course, it was spiritually disturbing. In the dream, I felt like I was connected to this little boy, and he was reaching out to me for help. But he felt deeper. It felt like a deeper connection than that. And so I'm still trying to make sense of it. Not really. That's why I'm putting this message out there. If you are having dreams about children, if you're having dreams that these children are either your children or you're connected to them, or in some type of way things are going on with the children. And so their spirit and their energy, because children are really tapped in easier than we are, because they haven't had the programming of this world happen to them. And if you're someone who holds that energy and that childlike space to tap into their energy, they're calling forth for us to help them. We can send out our light and energy for these children to be released from the strongholds and the depths of these kidnappers, these pedophiles, these nasty, evil people who are taking our children and doing inhumane acts with them. And it was extremely disturbing. Even to go back and think about it right now is very, very disturbing in my spirit. And I was able to see different projections. It was like I was in one space, but it's almost that's why I know that whatever they're creating and the technology and metaverse and all of that is really us. It's really our telepathic energy. It's really our brains and how we are created that they're mimicking. I was able to actually see what they were doing that was going on with them. I was actually able to connect and speak to this child, and he was able to communicate with me, not even verbally, what was going on. And then my mind was able to take and compute notes and formulate a plan that helped the group that I was a part of actually go out and try to retrieve this child. And there's some spiritual things that's going on. So don't think it's always you have to physically do something. We are divine beings, all right? We are a spark, that divine spark from the Almighty, from the source, from God, from whatever you want to call that, the creator, whatever you want to call the all-knowing, the omniscient. We are that. So we can use the power that we hold, because we are God's, in order to release whatever's going on with our children, with our youth, that's deep, dark, and gruesome force that needs to be released. Utilize your energy in meditation, in the astral plane, in ritual, whatever you do. Don't forget these children who are being used in the most manipulative way with these pedophiles. And it's sick. So don't forget our children. Do not forget how you need to work to actually release these children or release these energies from these children. So yeah, that was a dream state last night. Of course, not one of the more exciting ones, or cosmic, universal, kind of like fun, I would say, where it's just a lot of cosmic, intuitive, spiritual energy meanings behind it, but it is meaningful and informative nonetheless. All right, so I want to put that out there for you as well. So continue to walk in your divine nature with manifesting to your highest, you walking in our highest self this 2022 year. And as always, I am that I am, and peace and high frequency.